What's going on, everybody? This is Carthanassi Gaming, and since it's a little past most people's bedtime here in the college, I'm going to be keeping my voice down a little bit, so hopefully I don't wake anybody up. Alright, so since there hasn't been any major controversy in Mojang or Microsoft or anything like that I've heard of yet, I decided it would be appropriate today to give you guys my very first top 10. I say this mostly because, A, I can't really think of anything to talk about that relates to Minecraft that happens to be controversial that I can give my opinions on, other than, something of the mannerism of a top 10. And, being a YouTube gamer, it's almost a formality that you have to give a top 10 at some point. So I'm just fulfilling that requirement now so I don't have to do it later. Alright. That second part was a joke, actually. I mean, if you guys like top 10s, then I will let you have your top 10s more. You just have to let me know that that's what you like seeing on this channel, alright? That's all I ask. I want to make sure that what I'm recording is stuff that you guys want me to be bringing up / discussing / whatever you want to call it. I want to make sure that you guys are happy with the content you're getting before anything else, because as I've said an abundance of times, this is a channel for you guys, not for me. But anyway, so the top 10 that I am going to be doing today is going to be my list of top 10 mods that I use in Minecraft. Now, when I talk about top 10, I'm not only talking about like how cool the mod itself is, I'm also bringing up the fact like how easy it is to install, its compatibility with other mods, how much joy I get out of it, as well as with my friends, how interactive it is, and how well it meshes with other mods. So it's like not just a top 10, it's like, hey, these mods are cool because nar. I'm actually going to have reasons behind like why I think this is a mod that deserves to be in my top 10. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gee, something like that. Okay. So, number 10 on my list. And for those of you who are wondering, I want to get further along in this 1.8 world so I can get to that ocean monument really, really quickly. So I'm going to be playing on this world while I do this top 10. But anyway. Number 10 mod on my list is going to be the Still Hungry mod. And I'm going to be providing a link to each of the mods, assuming that they're still being updated. And I'll provide credit to each of the respective author. Apparently they're called authors nowadays for whatever reason, but anyway. The creators of the mod and that and such, and I'm going to put all that in the description, mostly because I don't really know the people who created what mod specifically, because I don't pay that much attention. But like I said, the first mod that I chose was the Still Hungry mod. I really like that mod, because it makes farming in Minecraft a lot more worthwhile. Like, normally if you're farming, you're really just farming so that you can have good amounts of wheat and such, so that you're not gonna run out of food. But it actually gives you like it buffs up farming quite a bit. That's one reason I like it, because with all the nerfing that they did to bone meal, making it so that you need 2 to 4 pieces to go from stage 1 crops to ready to harvest point. I really like what Still Hungry does with the farming. Huh? Mm-mm. What was I thinking about? Right. Basically, it buffs up the farming in Minecraft, because, like, say for instance you have 6 pieces of wheat, so you've got 2 pieces of bread. Well, something you can do, because the mod itself actually adds in some other crops that you can take your time in harvesting, like strawberries and grapes and such. And if you make some glass jars and take some strawberries and sugars, you can get jam. And if you put that jam between 2 pieces of bread, you get a strawberry jam sandwich. And if you eat that, it gives you 8 of your little hunger bar things back. So if you eat one of those and an apple, your hunger bar is completely full. In my case, it's going to make it so I'm not a constant half-heart warrior. Alright. That's why I really like that mod. It's really easy to install with Forge, which is practically the only mod platform that I use, because it's really, really reliable, and it's what I'm going to be building my mods off of, so hopefully my mods are compatible with mods like that. Alright, so my number 9 mod on my list, it's actually a really good question. If I had to pick one, I would probably put my number 9 on the portal gun mod. Now, I give portal gun my 9 only because I didn't really think about which mods were where beforehand, which is kind of shame on me, but anyway. The main reason I give Portal 9 is because I had some issues getting it to install with iTunes util, and for specific versions of Minecraft that happened to be older than the most recent version. I had to do some looking to actually get it installed and do some troubleshooting. And also, it wasn't compatible with all the mods that I use and the mod packs that my friends and I use at our LAN parties. That's one of the issues I have with the Portal Gun mod, but I really like everything that they do with the mod. Like, I really like the ability to use a portal gun to get around, because, you know, who wouldn't like that? It's a portal gun. And especially when, like, I'm using it in conjunction with the Dimensional Doors mod, which I'll tell you guys about later because I love that mod. It makes getting around in the... Whoa. Huh. I guess they do that. It's kind of cool. Okay. It makes getting around in the alternate dimensions really easy, and it makes it really easy to avoid the creepy gaze of the monoliths. Ugh, I will never forget them. It still gives me chills to think about them. Alright. So in short, Portal Gun mod, a really cool idea. I hope that they keep doing stuff with it. Just had some difficulties installing it, and it's not compatible with all the mods I use. Ah, shoot. It's turning night. I better get back in the house so I don't die. I have to be so careful getting around, it's almost irritating. Okay. So, my number 8 mod on the list is going to have to be the Eternal Frost mod. What the Eternal Frost mod does, basically it takes the Nether and it makes an anti-version of it, if you can call it that. Anything that you would find that's fire-based in the Nether, you can find a cold-based version of it in the Eternal Frost. It's a really cool idea. I'm glad that they're doing so much with it, and I really like the temples and dungeons and such that they put in there. They've got a couple missing texture issues. You know, I hope that they get around to fixing that. In my opinion, if you don't have textures for something, you really shouldn't have it implemented yet. That's just my opinion. And there are also issues that, like, if I use one of my other mods while I'm in the Eternal Frost, it has a tendency to crash. So it kind of lacks its ability to, you know, to be a part of a mod pack. But, you know, in general, it's a really cool mod. I really like the idea. and I love playing on it in single player with like single mod time, if you want to call it that. Alright. So, number 6. No, 7. This would be number 7, I think. What would I do for number 7? Because I already know what my numbers 1, 2, and 3 are. I'm gonna have to say number 7 is probably gonna be Tale of Kingdoms. And I know that there are those of you out there who are already groaning at hearing that name, but it is a wonderful mod. It's really well thought out, and I love it. I love it. The main issue, it's like Eternal Frost, it doesn't like working with other mods. That's one of the main reasons that we don't use it anymore. Plus, it adds in a whole lot of what am I thinking? A whole lot of entities that it has to run out, so it really slows down my computer's frame rate, which is one other thing that I don't really like about the mod. Other than that, the only other complaint that I really have is how difficult it is, which is honestly a good thing, because it's not very often that you'll find mods that actually challenge the user nowadays, unless you really start looking for them. Alright, so Tale of Kingdoms will be my number 7. Number 6. Number 6, I'm going to have to say, will be Arrows Plus. And I happen to know who made that mod simply because he makes a mod that's a little better off in this list. The mod creator happens to be Wild Bama Boy, and he is the creator of Minecraft Comes Alive. I really like the Arrows Plus mod, mostly because I'm a very Renaissance-y kind of guy, so having different kinds of arrows, well, not necessarily just Renaissance-y, but fantasy in general, I find it all really, really interesting. So that's one of the reasons why I was immediately hooked when I saw that there was a mod that added in, fire arrows and explosive arrows. No, I'm thinking of a different mod, but actually no. I really do like the Arrows Plus mod because it gives it a real... It puts skill into archery. I think it would have been better if he had nerfed normal bows, because Arrows Plus only does so much to what you can actually do in the mod that's better than the normal bows. I think that had normal bows been nerfed, I would have felt more inclined to use the features of the mod. Swear I just heard something. And I don't think it was my pickaxe. Oh god, that scared me. Okay. Now that minor terror attack is over, back to talking about the features that are added in by the Arrows Plus mod. So I think that it would have been more widely actually used had real bows been nerfed, because it gave you more of a reason to use the mod's bows. I understand the idea where it's if you're installing this mod, obviously you're going to use it, but to a certain extent you'll also have to expect the users to only use it if it's in their advantage. If they would have something major to gain by using the features of the mod. So that's just my opinion and one way he could have fixed it. It also had a bit of an issue with compatibility with Invasion mod, which is one of my other mods that is going to be on this list. Spoiler alert. Which is also why it happened to take the number 7 place on this mod list. Alright. So number 6 on the list. I am going to have to say that number 6 will go to I want to say number 6 goes to the Dimensional Doors mod. And my main complaint about it is how scary it is when you're alone, in my case. I mean, I don't know about any of you other people that have played the Dimensional Doors mod, but when I'm going through those alternate dimensions alone, I get terrified. Full-blown terror when I'm going through there and I hear that creepy music. And turning down the volume on my laptop doesn't change it, and that scares me even more. Because it's like there's no way that I can get around it from happening, and that just sets me panicking, which is also one of the really good aspects of the mod, because it's, in all honesty, it's hard to find terror mods in there, like ones that are Majora's Mask, a Majora's Mask type of scary. Like, it's a feeling that there's something that you just can't escape. And that's one of the reasons that I love it. And there's so much potential for exploration. And I love playing it on our mod packs with our friends, because it gives us something to explore. Me and my friend Richie, who are huge explorers. The Dimensional Doors, every time we open up a new dungeon, it's a whole new world to explore. Whole new dungeon, the challenge of getting around the monolith's creepy field of vision, not getting sent to limbo, and finding all the treasure. It's every time it's a new adventure within the mod, and that's one reason that I absolutely love it. I mean, obviously there's the thing where it's like, you can create your own pocket dimension and hide all your stuff in it. Anyone could do that, but it really touches me because of the exploration aspect. Every time you find that little dungeon door, it's something that it's hard to replace. Oh, so that's what that sound was when I was down there. It was the sound of thunder. Okay, I'm less scared now. Note the less. Okay. So I think I'm at number 5 on the list. Number 5 on the list, I'm going to have to say, is Minecraft Comes Alive. And my main complaint with it is the fact that it caused some crashes later on in the game, like while my friends and I were LAN partying. It would cause crashes like when we were late game, like, doing invasions, we had all of our stuff done. It's like we were finally getting into that mod. It would have a tendency to crash and corrupt the world, and that was the biggest complaint that I have. I love the idea behind it, and I love, like, fake getting to know the villagers and the places, building relationships. It makes it feel like Minecraft is more of, like, a real world instead of just a sandbox where you're basically the only person in it. And that's why I really love it. For those of you who weren't paying attention when I brought up Arrows Plus, Minecraft Comes Alive is made by the same person, who happens to be named Wild Bama Boy. Alright, so now for the number 4 mod, which I'm going to say is the Invasion mod. And with Invasion mod, I have the same complaint that I have for practically every mod that's been on this list. It's not compatible with all of the others. We get errors when we get further and further into the game. That's my only complaint about it, though. It makes the game truly challenging, and it actually brought about an idea that I had, like, while I was playing it once. Well, 2 ideas, actually. Like, a way that you can use it to make it even more challenging. The first challenge is, the Unstable Catalyst Dash, I guess I'll call it. Basically what you do, you spawn into a world with cheats on, you set yourself into creative mode, and you spawn in a Nexus and an Unstable Catalyst, and that's all. And you have to place it and put the Unstable Catalyst into the Nexus and try and survive for as long as you can, starting literally from square one. you start punching trees and trying to craft wooden swords before the zombies can overwhelm your nexus. Now the second little challenge that I came up with is basically the same thing with that, except instead of using the red nexus, it's the red catalyst. Sorry. It's when you spawn into the world, you spawn in the nexus, and you spawn in a stable catalyst. Now, for those of you who don't know what the invasion mod does, basically the nexus is a target that will, when it's powered up, it will spawn mobs from a great distance away, and their sole goal is to destroy the nexus. As the nexus is powered up, it generates rift flux, which you can use to create iron, diamonds, redstone, and lapis lazuli. And you can use lapis and rift flux to create damping agents, which will help you cool down the nexus when you're in continuous mode. So it's like if you find that right power level where it's like you're challenged by the invasions, but it's not causing serious damage to your base, you could set up a light damping agent to keep it there, or a strong damping agent if you wanted to shut it down, because a strong damping agent quickly dissipates the power that's in the nexus. And as the power in the nexus starts to grow, it starts to generate rift flux faster and faster, but the waves of mobs also get harder and harder and harder. The invasion mod adds a whole lot of new stuff. My only wish is that they would get the infused swords working. Because I remember back when it was in the good old 1.3.2 days, I had made a mod pack that had like Swords Plus, Bosscraft, Invasion mod, and you know, all those really cool like battle RPG oriented mods. And it had the infused sword working, and it was the coolest thing ever. It was one of the most useful items in that pack. And now, unfortunately, since it's not working, me and my friends always wind up wasting 3 diamonds and 3 rift flux trying to craft that infused sword that happens to not work. So, you know, I just hope that for future releases, assuming they do, you know, release some future versions of it, that they fix that little issue, because that's really my only complaint for Invasion mod. That, and, you know, obviously the error with it fitting with other mods. Alright, now we're down to the final 3, if I'm correct. Alright, so the number 3 mod on my list, I'm going to go back home before I lose these diamonds. Alright, so the number 3 list on this mod is going to be Balkan's Weapon mod. I love Weapon mod because I've never had any compatibility issues with it, and it makes my one major talent in Minecraft incredibly useful. I am a very, very good sniper in the game. I'm really talented with the bow because of all those hours put into Arrows Plus, and the musket in Balkan's Weapon mod makes it so much more useful. Because imagine an arrow that flies at a velocity that's a whole lot higher than normal. Let's just say that. It really doesn't have a range limit, and it deals twice the damage. It makes that musket and all the iron and wooden stuff that goes into it so useful, especially when you stick an iron bayonet on it. It gives you a full-purpose weapon that you can use for practically anything. And I love having that option. And I love the fact that it adds in all of these different weapons like katanas, warhammers, battle axes, short spears, javelins, crossbows, all this really, really cool stuff. And I absolutely love it because it scales with the player too. So it's like as you're getting higher and higher in strength and you're getting more supplies, you can get more and more powerful weapons. You can make diamond warhammers and diamond battle axes, and you can make muskets with diamond bayonets on them, and blunderbusses and cannons to guard your place. It's so cool. And I've not had a single issue with compatibility with Balkan's Weapon mod, and that is the main reason why it's the number 3 on the list. It's a really cool mod, and it's a really cool idea, and it really adds to the RPG aspect of Minecraft. So the number 2 on my list is the Atomic Science mod. Now, for those of you who have played on Volts, or I think the older versions of Tekkit had it on there as well, Atomic Science, basically, it adds in atomic science. When you're mining around, you can find uranium, which you can mine up in, unless you have a radiation, so it'll give you radiation poisoning, I think. No, that's after you process it, never mind. But you can go around, you can mine up uranium, you can purify it, and you can use it in fission reactors to generate power for stuff in Volts and Tekkit and stuff like that. Because you have to generate power, you can make fission reactors. And if you collect a whole lot of stuff like from Mechanism, get steel, bronze ingots, and such like that, you can make fusion reactors too, which generate a whole lot of power as well. It's just the whole idea behind it of having atomic science in Minecraft, and it's one of the reasons that I got so into the idea of nuclear physics. And it just so happened that when I really started getting into that mod, my online AP Physics course last year was starting to get into the swing of nuclear physics. So I'm like, wait, this fits into this from atomic science, this fits into this from atomic science, and I was just seeing all these connections being made, and it felt really cool anytime I would see a similarity. And it's like, that's scientifically correct, that's scientifically correct. The fusion is going to be scientifically correct if, what all of our scientists are telling us is true. It was so cool. And obviously, since it's a Tekkit pack, we've never had any compatibility issues, all that stuff. It's just a really cool mod behind it, and it merges well with the number 1 mod on this list, which is ICBM. When you combine it with atomic science, you have antimatter missiles and red matter missiles. And I don't think I need to say any more for those of you who already know me, because I like destruction a lot. One time, because I was bored, I created a world on Volts, and I did nothing but set off a single piece of red matter explosives and just followed it. I just followed the path of destruction in complete awe. It was incredible. And the fact that it merges so well with the mods in like Volts and Infamy on Feed the Beast and Amps makes it even cooler, because you can get all these different kinds of missiles, like contagion missiles, shrapnel missiles, nuclear missiles, cluster missiles, all of this super cool stuff that feeds into my appetite for destruction. And that's one of the main reasons that it has had such a profound effect on me. That, and I had to have, since I couldn't put the Too Much TNT mod on here, since I did a review of it already, I had to have a replacement for that, so I put in ICBM, because it's better than Too Much TNT. Alright, so that was my top 10 mods in Minecraft, and it just so happens that we found a perfect time to stop. The sun is setting over our Minecraft world. Hold on, let's look at it. Everyone, enjoy the sunset. This has been Carthonassi Gaming, enjoying the sunset with all of you. Signing off.